Harvard's most powerful economist is stepping down as the Epstein files shake the Ivy League again. That's right, again. This isn't the first time we've heard this. Larry Summers is resigning from teaching at Harvard University at the end of the school year, according to a statement from the university. Summers, of course, is a former U.S. Treasury Secretary under Bill Clinton. He also was the president of Harvard. You may remember his contretemps with Cornel West a couple of decades ago. Anyway, he's been on leave since November, which not a coincidence. His name, it turns out, has appeared hundreds of times in newly released Justice Department files related to Jeffrey Epstein. A Harvard spokesperson said that Summers will retire from his faculty role and remain on leave until the end of the academic year. In a statement, Summers called it a difficult decision and said he looks forward to continuing research and commentary as president emeritus and a retired professor. The files detail a years-long relationship between Summers and Epstein, including visits to each other's homes in Massachusetts and in New York. Emails show the two discussing politics. They talk about the economy. They talk about even personal matters. In 2018 and 2019, there were emails in which Summers sought advice from Epstein about a woman he was tutoring in economics. Epstein referred to himself as Summers' wingman. In a 2016 email, Summers appeared to use a racial slur while discussing a meeting involving a Chinese university official. No shocker there when you hear the things he said about women or the way he engaged Cornel West. Anyway, Summers has previously called his association with Epstein a, quote, major error in judgment. Now, this fallout is big. And I told you it was affecting higher education, but not just Harvard. Richard Axel resigned as co-director of Columbia University's Zuckerman Mind Brain Behavior Institute after his own ties to Epstein were revealed. Axel is a former Nobel Prize winner, and he said his association with Epstein was a serious error in judgment. We're going to hear that phrase a lot. It seems to be the best thing people can say. It's a kind of way of sort of acknowledging the friendship and the relationship, but saying, look, I didn't know the man. And we can talk about that in a minute. In December, Summers received a lifetime ban from the American Economic Association, and he also stepped down from the board of OpenAI. A 2020 Harvard report found Epstein donated more than $9 million to the university, much of it connected to a program run by Professor Martin Novak, who was later disciplined. The latest resignations come as millions of pages of Justice Department records continue to expose Epstein's network across academia, business, and of course, politics. Epstein's longtime associate, Ghislaine Maxwell, remains a central figure in the broader scandal. For Harvard, this marks the end of a 50-year era for one of its most influential figures. This is a big friggin' deal. Let's move on to something else that's connected, but also equally gross. Bill Gates. Bill Gates apologized to the staff of his charity foundation this week over his ties to Jeffrey Epstein. The Wall Street Journal reports, speaking before the Gates Foundation on Tuesday, the tech billionaire admitted to having two affairs that Epstein later discovered. He also acknowledged flying with Epstein on multiple occasions, but said he never visited Epstein's island nor committed any crimes. Gates has come under fire following the Justice Department's recent release of Epstein files, which included photos of Gates together with women whose faces have been redacted. Oof. This is an interesting story. Gates says they were Epstein's assistants, and that the financier insisted on the photos following a meeting. Maybe true. I don't know. The question is why. We should expect more shocking revelations this week as Hillary Clinton is set to testify tomorrow, or at the end of tonight, as you know, and former President Bill Clinton is scheduled to testify Friday about the mentions of Clinton's name and pictures in the first set of files that were released. So Lots of fireworks coming up this week, even more coming next week. But please know that this ain't the end of it.